Hi everyone, I'm Kara.
And I'm Katie.
And welcome back to the Pursuit of Homestead. We are two sisters who homestead in Middle Tennessee, and we just endured the ice storm that came through. So we didn't have power for about a day and a half, and we have it back now, and so we are cheersing with some sparkling cider.
Yes, we're going crazy. While she's doing that, I'll just say a couple things. Like, in hindsight, a day and a half of no electricity is not huge. However, when it's like 6 degrees out, it feels huge. Like, it feels like everything's been kind of like taken away from you. And that's kind of like during that time, we really like sat down and just very obviously noted everything that we had been lacking. So, cheers.
Cheers to making it through.
We stayed warm. Our animals stayed alive.
Yes.
And our meat stayed frozen.
Yes, so, but there are areas to improve upon, which is what this video is going to be about. Sugar rush.
Sugar rush. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers. We have switched to coffee. Let me also preface with my dog's right here. That's what I'm petting and scratching. I have a dog right here. I just want to... Cheers to that.
Yeah, in this video, I feel like we are a little crazy.
Speak for yourself.
My hair just, anyways, it's been a stressful couple of days, and I acknowledge it was only a day and a half of no power, but it was challenging during an ice storm. As you can see, it's still going on, but luckily we have power.
Yeah, I feel like when we got power back, it was just like,
yeah,
it felt so good.
Yeah.
So the first day, it was like a good, 4 inches of just like powdery snow. It was beautiful. The next day, we woke up and it was awful. It was slushy, it was wet, but it was turning freezing again. And so everything, all the sleet that was like coming down was freezing. And we'll post some pictures also of like what that looked like. So when that happened, the ice like really built up on the power lines, and all of our power lines were like drooping.
Yeah.
Like it was like begging us to play jump rope with it, basically. It's awful.
Don't worry, we decided not to.
We were the reason for the outage. That's where our power outage came from. And
we think, I mean, it could have been a tree also that fell. We don't really know the origin of it.
Talk about the trees.
The trees, So all the branches, the leaves were covered in ice, and a lot of trees were falling every time we came outside. And mind you, we're still going through it. I mean, we just got our power back yesterday. Everything is still ice outside. But luckily, the electric company out here has been working so hard to restore everybody's power, and we're very fortunate that it was only a day and a half. But
so like our trees are like just snapping in half.
Yeah.
They're snapping in half. Some people's trees are like blowing up, which I know that sounds weird, but our mom sent us a text and saying why that happened, and it's because all the sap within the tree is freezing and expanding, and then it pops.
Right.
So it's just been like a really weird few days.
We've definitely never experienced anything like this, and because we're not from this area. But it's been pretty eye-opening, because for homesteading, this is what we prepare for. We prepare to be sustainable in general, but especially in times of an emergency. Ice storms aren't the only risk that we face. We also face power outages during tornado season. And it was very eye-opening. I think there was pros and cons to have our first like extreme power outage during an ice storm. Pros being that we didn't really have to be concerned about our food, especially the ones that are in the fridge and freezer in the garage. But
I was really grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah. The cons being it was just very cold and we didn't have a generator. And we'll go into that more a little bit later. And
our pipes were going to freeze. Our like HVAC system was freezing. Like all stuff that we just haven't really dealt with. We've done power outages, but more during tornado season.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't really like ice cold like this. So some of the things that we have notice that we need, I think like our egos, at least my ego took a little bit of a hit because like you don't do homesteading necessarily for just like preparedness. You do it for sustainability, but part of sustainability is being prepared for those situations that kind of take you for a loop. And my ego kind of took a hit because I realized how unprepared I actually am in my homestead to maintain us with like heat and food and water and all of that stuff.
Isn't it ironic that her ego takes a hit when we have no power? That's like the essence of humility, right? Like when you admit that you know nothing, you have nothing.
Yeah. It was definitely a humiliating situation. No, it's so true. Like, yeah. I think being able to just say, hey, like I did not set this up right, or I didn't set this up at all. Like, what have I been doing? You have to get there in order to get where you need to go. And so, yeah, it was definitely brought out some humility, and I'm glad it did because I think for the next Snowmageddon, whatever this is, we'll be more prepared and it'll be good. So,
yeah, for any sort of natural disaster or crazy world event or whatever, the purpose of this channel is always to pursue homestead and there's a reason why we don't do a heavy emphasis on education. There is some, obviously, but it's more so of like our pursuit of homestead is just ongoing, and just the goal is to, be self-sufficient.
So the first being, we have a fireplace, but it's a gas fireplace that's not vented. So we have never used it. I've turned it on once when I first bought this property, and it made this whole house smell. It was nauseating. And so I'm going to clip a picture of what I want to turn it into. I want to put in a wood burning stove there that we could also cook food on top of if we needed to. And that will be a big renovation too.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be worth it.
It will be worth it for sure. The type of fireplace situation that we have is actually only legal in 23 states, and it's a very terrible situation. It doesn't make any sense. So I think, why is it even there if we can't use
it's pointless.
We actually have to replace it and make it better in order to survive in the cold.
So that will be one of the things we're going to do. The second thing is a generator. We do not have a generator. We knew that this is something that we were going to have to get eventually. It's just kind of expensive, and we're not really technical when it comes to it. So we're like, how do we even set it up? But we came into the issue, like if this were to have happened during hot weather, like all of our meat would have been gone. And also like even just like little things, like we weren't prepared for our phones to stay charged or our coffee. Like we need to figure out our coffee. It was a mess. It was just a mess.
The day before, we were like, let's go find a little generator. Of course, everything was gone. I called Harbor Freight, and they answered the phone. Hi, thank you for calling Harbor Freight, where we have no generators. How can I help you? And I said, oh, you answered my question. And then they said, I'm sure I did. Goodbye.
And that's when we knew we were screwed.
Yeah. And to be fair, I was definitely one of those people that underestimated. I was like, yeah, they're predicting it. It's not going to happen. Like I had no sense of urgency to prepare. And
I had a little bit more urgency, but not a lot.
Yeah. And, thankfully, again, I'll say it was only a day and a half, but it was just very eye-opening.
Yeah. So I did go and I bought a little Jackery unit just for like keeping your phones charged, maybe running a pot of coffee, like little things like that, maybe charging a heated blanket, stuff to just like make inside the house a little bit easier. And we will be pricing and trying to get a generator set up for us. Mm-hmm. All right, so the third thing is that we have a lot of windows in our house and none of them have coverings on them. It's just like we are like fish in a fishbowl in this house. And it lets light in and that's great, but it did not maintain any of our heat. We dropped our heat once our power went out really, really fast. So my goal is to sew or have somebody else sew some thick like wool window coverings that we can put up during the winter, and it'll just help keep our house a little bit more insulated.
I think you can sew them. I believe in you.
I do not believe in me.
She's never sewed, but she can never learn. Sewn. That is a great skill set to have.
Maybe I'll take you guys along with it.
Yeah.
I will probably not be very pleasant though.
I have a fun fact.
Okay.
Did you know that cashmere is made from goat fur?
Really?
Yeah, I just researched that yesterday.
But it feels so coarse. Like an actual goat.
It's a cashmere goat. It's a certain kind of goat.
We should get those.
I think. You guys, if I'm wrong, just one person can correct me in the comments. No more than that.
Check the comments first. Okay, we kind of talked about everything. My very last, like my biggest annoyance. Well, also we have an electric stove and oven, and in California we grew up with gas everything, and coming out here it was a big change. I'd really like to convert to a gas stove because we could have continued eating meals and stuff like that, and we did because we were lucky enough to have like a little camper stove, and I had been grabbing some propane here and there randomly, which I'm grateful for, but it like just doesn't cook the same.
We tried to bake a couple things in there, like cornbread and cinnamon rolls, and burnt it terribly. It was awful. That was our fault. But you also have to cook in the snow. You know, you're freezing out there while you're cooking, and so super grateful for it. But it just wasn't, it's just an area that we can improve upon.
Yep. So switching that out is also on our plan. And the last thing, when it comes to our animals, more so the bunnies and the chickens. We've done some snow days with the chickens for like a couple years now. The bunnies, this would be our first time. The hutches I have them in have a slant, which is great, but the ridges are going horizontal rather than vertical. And so I know that snow and ice built up on it and I could not lift it up. It's one that you lift up. So I don't know if that means I should put maybe tarps on the top before a big snow and I can just pull them down along with the ice. I had to like really hit it to get it even open because I just wasn't strong enough. So that was super annoying. I felt bad for the bunnies. They were getting scared. I felt bad for me for obvious reasons.
She would come in from caring from them and she looked like she had been through war.
I had.
Her hair was like out to here. She was like sweating.
It was so bad. I felt so bad for them. Bless the bunnies though. They can handle the cold.
Yeah.
And I have blocked all the wind from them, so they have no wind coming at them. But every time I go out there, I put my hands underneath them and they keep me warm. Like they're so warm.
They're made for the outdoors for sure.
Yeah, I'm so proud of them. But those are the main things. Anything else you got?
No, I will say that I'm very grateful for like little things that we had prepared, like the hand warmers really came in clutch, especially after a cold night. So those were amazing. Just having blankets, my dog that burrows, I was super thankful for during the night.
At all.
But yeah, and then just having an eye-opening experience is always good to help us in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we also wanted to talk about is preserving food. There are so many different ways you can preserve food, and I like to do all of them. It's really fun to like mix it up in the different ways you can preserve and prep, or however you want to say it. And before us, we have like a wide variety, and we want to talk to them about them a little bit, because as we're getting ready to plan our garden year, it's important I always start my garden year by making a list of things I want to preserve. That's always the first thing I do, because then from there, I can go and say, okay, well, I want to preserve pickles, canned pickles, fridge pickles, and I want to do shredded cucumber freeze dried. And so that's 3 different recipes with cucumber that I want to do. So how many plants do I need to go for that? So that's kind of how I start. And so during a situation like we just went through, some of these were more preferable than the other. And I'm not going to stop doing anything else, but there were some like no stress stuff that I think we should like really dive into a little bit more this year.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start with this one. My very favorite way to preserve anything is by not preserving them at all. So like just garlic from last year, I harvested this last June, and they're still completely hard and good to use. And then also like onions, other things like potatoes and winter squashes and things like that are all just like stuff that you can just put up after you, what's the word I'm looking for?
Harvest,
but then after you,
dry them out.
Yeah, there's a word for that, but yeah, dry them out or like, anyways, wow, that word.
Put it in the comments,
it's on
people.
The screen. Let it pop up on the screen. Anyway, so that is obviously my favorite. Obviously, temperature, humidity, stuff like that is going to be really big on how you store this. But favorite way, no stress. I did not worry about these at all during our outage. Okay. Next thing is canned items that are on the shelf. Like these are whole tomatoes. I got beans. I got pickled jalapenos, just a few that I just pulled out. Another thing, I did not think about these one time when our temperatures or our electricity went out at all. These were just good to go. I knew they weren't going to go bad. These are the best. However, I am not a huge fan on like a ton of canned foods. I like obviously whole things, right? These are just jalapenos, just beans, just tomatoes. Then you can make them into something else. So I guess I'm a little bit more limited than some people would be. Some people get really creative and that's great. It's just not for me. So yeah, love that. Do you want to?
Yeah. So next is going to be our freeze-dried ingredients. We were blessed enough that our mom got a freeze dryer this last year. So we were able to just prepare everything and then take it over to our parents' house and have them freeze-dried. Freeze drying is amazing because you just have to add a little bit of warm water. I will say in our circumstance, this time around, thankfully we had a camper stove and we were able to warm up water. But if we didn't have that, and that's not even something that we necessarily like planned for, it's just something that we had. If we didn't have that, we would have had no way to warm up water. And so that's dependent on warm water, and hopefully we'll always have a way to warm up water in the future. But just something for us to think about. Anything you want to add, Fred?
I think the only thing for me, like I did some whole things, like these are cherry tomatoes and shredded cucumber to make tzatziki, but like things like this is just an autumn soup. I want to lean into this year. I want to lean into like already made meals, and then also like obviously warm water for this, but there are some things you can just do cold water with. Like if you were to do juices or milk or stuff like that, like you can do cold water. So you can always lean into that a little bit if you don't have a way to heat it up. But pre-made meals, freeze-dried, leaning into it because they're great.
Yeah.
So to be fair, we haven't eaten a lot of our freeze-dried food that we've done yet. And honestly, I take the most stuff over to my mom's house, like a lot of leftovers, like we'll make a leftover soup or something like that. And I just put it on a pan and take it to my mom's house so we don't waste it. And so when she was saying that it was only warm water, I don't know if you can see me thinking, how do I mention that you can use like room temperature water or
Gosh, that was a very nice and gentle way to correct me, and I appreciate that. If you guys didn't watch our first video that we ever came out with, Katie is the mastermind behind all of this, and we're sisters that live together, and I've been here as a support to like root her on and to help her with the heavy lifting because she deals with chronic pain. But I'm learning a lot in real time. So I'm here to, we're running up this new business together, the Pursuit of Homestead, and then starting this YouTube channel together. But in terms of homesteading, there's a lot that I have to learn that she's already learned, and she's the expert. So, yeah.
I'm not an expert. Don't listen to me.
To me, you are.
Uh-oh.
She knows everything. Speaking of the YouTube channel, how do you think it's been?
I think it's been good. I think YouTube has been like on my heart for a while now. And I think I've always needed you to do it with me because like she's really good at the editing, and she is also like, she just sees things in a way that I don't. And you were always so busy that you couldn't. I mean, I was busy too, but I had like the dream for it. And so I'm just grateful that we're doing it. I think it'll get better and better. I think it's a little exhausting being on camera all the time. And then it's also like really exhausting trying to be funny,
Yeah. Some days it comes naturally and some days it doesn't. And to keep that tone consistent.
Yeah, I think we might have shot ourselves in the foot with that one.
Why did we have to be so funny?
Yeah.
That the people that have watched our first 2 episodes are probably like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, they're not funny at all. What? What about you? What do you think? Because this is not something you really have wanted to do.
No, I've never wanted to do this. I think long form
This sucks. I hate it.
Well, I think long form content is just a beast, and it does. I mean, the first video, it took us like 4 hours to edit it. It takes so long. I think it's super vulnerable, and it's just so different from short form content, which we need to start doing as well. But
yeah,
I think I've like enjoyed it a lot more than I thought that I would, because there's so much just like bonding time and realistic. I mean, it's just us speaking with each other, and I think it's a lot easier to be natural and to be like myself around you than if it's just me on camera. I'm way too in my head about it.
Yeah, same. It definitely helps to feed off of someone.
Yeah. And there's a lot of times where I'm like, let's reshoot it. And she's like, no, I can't do that.
Do not have that in me.
Yeah.
I will not do that.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, first take it is.
Yeah. I think today was one of those days.
It was. Because I was like, do you want to reshoot it? And you were like, no.
I was like, I hated it, but we're moving forward.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't bad. But
yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to the last way that we had food preserved, which was freezing, and see what we thought about that. So in our first video, we talked about how we are self-sufficient in terms of meat. Here we have ground lamb that our brother and his friend harvested. We have chickens that our parents raised, and then we helped them process them. Ooh. And then we have beef here from our parents' farm. We have frozen fruits and vegetables. Here's just a bag of tomatoes, which we'll be preserving into tomato soup soon in a video. But, these are really, it's an amazing way. But when you don't have power and you don't have a generator, you don't want to open up your freezer or fridge. And like I said before, like we're really thankful that this happened during a time that it was freezing, because it wasn't as big of a concern. We put all of our fridge items in a cooler outside, and those stayed fine. And then our freezers were totally fine the whole time. But what we didn't do is we didn't take out any in advance to thaw. And we didn't want to open up the freezer once the power had gone out. So we kind of just let it be and just relied on some of these other shelf stable foods that we had and refrigerated items that we had. But yeah, I mean, is there another way that you would want to preserve meat? I know people can meat.
Yeah, they do. I'm not opposed to it. It's not my favorite thing. It's definitely not something I would grab first thing out of the cupboard. I would love to try canning smoked salmon.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love canned tuna from the store.
Yeah, and then we freeze dried chicken
and gravy, sausage
gravy for biscuits. So we could freeze dry ground beef and stuff. But I don't think I would like take out of, I prefer frozen meat
Mm-hmm.
and some frozen vegetables too. I guess like my big takeaway from the freezer stuff, although I think you're right, like pull it out and like let it thaw so you're not like opening it up and back and forth or whatever. But if you're going to put an investment into a freezer like this, which this is an investment, make sure you have something to keep that investment good, like a generator.
Yeah.
Because then you're just wasting money and really good quality food.
Really good
too.
quality food. And it's amazing to stock up. I mean, when you buy a cow or half a cow, it's a big bulk of money. It does save you money in the long run, but it's for a whole year, and you have to think, gosh, well, if my freezer goes out or I waste all of it, that's hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars, depending on how much you have in your freezer out there. So it's really important to figure out a way to make sure that it lasts throughout power outages.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, we are very fortunate that it happened during an ice storm.
Yeah. The last thing I have is this bucket. We keep like our bulk, like flour, rice, oats, sugar. There's other stuff you can do in it too, but those are our main 4 ones in these buckets. I did not worry about this at all. Like this is always so great, and it's like they're filling, and some of them are just like hot water and stuff like that. So it's another thing to keep in mind is like, and I think a lot of you probably already do, is putting some stuff in here. You can put it in Mylar bags with some oxygen absorbers, or if you eat it fast enough, you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I think overall, we didn't have to stress about a lot of food.
Yeah.
But we do need to start trying to protect our meat, because it is an investment. So,
right.
Yeah. All right, everybody. So to recap, just think about how you preserve your food. Garden season's coming up. We have so many options we can do. Think about daily use. Think about for emergencies. And this isn't just like end of the world doomsday talk. This is, hey, natural disasters happen, job loss happens. There's so many different things that just having some stuff that's shelf stable and that can last a while, it's so beneficial, and you won't be sorry that you have it. So start by making a list of everything you want to preserve. Get some books. I can link a couple books down below that I use for preservation. And just start getting ideas. You're going to preserve stuff that you don't like. That's okay. There's so much stuff I preserve that I just don't want to eat. So preserve what you'll eat. Preserve for the future too. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. And also don't take these little times in life that you have a day and a half power outage for granted. Huge learning lessons can happen. And I'm super grateful that it happened so that we could, be more intentional in our garden season, because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money, and we want to do it as best we can. We want to do it with excellence.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. Since it is the winter, be on the lookout. Our next video is a winter sowing video that'll come out in a few days. So take a look at that and see how to winter sow, because it's time to start seeds. It is time.
I mean, it's white outside. How could it be time?
It's time. There's always a way. And I'm going to show you how.
Just when you think it's time to hibernate and rest, this girl pulls out her seeds.
Oh, yeah. Well, please, if you like this video, like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.
Should we do one more cheers for the road?
Cheers. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.